Hey, Barney Ruttenberg just checked in.
Hi, Barney. How are you?
Very good, thank you. What was our? Oops.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Brian.
Yeah, hi. Hi,
Cal.
Cal. Hi, Cal.
You hear me okay?
I can.
I can't hear you, Cal.
Oh, thanks, Tony. I think I'm gonna go with my headphones. Tony, what do you usually use for these? Do you use your the computer or use headphones?
I use a 7-iron.
I know exactly. Hey, Tony, I was out there at 5:30 this morning. You should join us early if you want.
Why would you go that early?
Because I got done by 9 o'clock.
What good is that? You wind up having to go to work.
I know exactly. Yeah, I was okay with
I
that.
start about 10 o'clock, then I miss, pretty much the whole day.
Have you played at Sunset yet this year?
Twice.
What'd you think?
It's nice. It's, it's cleaned up. It's more attractive. I don't know. It's really a different course, but it's, the greens are a lot better.
Yeah, that's for sure. I will tell you this. I said this to Brian Romes today. What I've noticed, I've been out there a couple times this year, and I'm seeing a lot of nice swings. A lot of millennials, looks like coming from the city, coming out to play it, playing from the tips, playing from the blacks. But you see a lot of nice swings out there now, carrying their own clubs.
So my son, his first round this year, he took his roommate out to go play Sunset. They're both fairly decent golfers. Teddy shot an 81. He has not played golf for a year plus. He didn't play at all last summer.
That's a very good score, as you know.
I'm the problem is I had to change the locks on the house. I'm not letting him back in.
Yeah. How's Thunderhawk been this year?
It's in good shape. It's in very good shape. We're going out, one person per card unless you're in the same household.
Yes.
So it's playing pretty quickly, which is nice. The biggest problem they have is the company that ran the concession, that ran that wonderful restaurant.
Yeah, I remember that.
They did not renew their lease or their contract, so they got no concession.
What? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, nobody really knew. They've got that huge patio. They could easily, I think it served a lot of food. The cigar sales alone would probably cover it.
So if you have 20 minutes, call Buddha and ask him about his hole-in-one at Thunderhawk.
You think he can get through that in 20 minutes?
I mean, it is I mean, okay, I'm going under over 20 minutes hearing the story about his hole in one.
Do you know which hole it was on?
It was the par 3 on the front 9. It was I think it's the one, I forgot what number it was. He said it's the one you couldn't see the ball roll in. He said that
Oh, well, that's number 3. That's a hard hole, period.
yeah. So he
It's like a 180-yard hole. You can't really see the green. You either make the green or you're either in one of the back sand traps or in the wetlands in the front. That's a tough hole.
Yeah, so he was looking for his ball, and he'll tell you all about it when he saw it. But he was looking for his ball, and the person he was playing with said, "Why don't you check the cup?" And there it was.
Wow. So in my entire family, my dad for most of his life played to a 4 to a 6 handicap.
Yeah.
Paul has been between about a 4 and a 7. I played between about a 12 and now I'm about an 18. My brother Alan plays sporadically. My mom has generally played to around a 30 to a 32 handicap. She has the only hole in one in the family. She got a hole in one at Northmore in a par 3. The ball skittered up on the green, hit the flagstick, and went in.
Oh, jeez. What's as close as you ever come?
2 inches.
What?
I
Where?
had a ball stop 2 inches. I hit over the pin. The ball backed up to the cup and died 2 inches from the cup.
You know
Wow.
what's the only thing more boring than golf stories are lawyers' cases stories. And well,
Not from a good lawyer. A good lawyer can give you a case story that will make you laugh or cry.
yeah, I haven't met any of them. Oh, wait, sorry about that. No, also, people telling other people who is on their fantasy football team. That's
Oh
another.
yeah. I'm like my dad. I can tell you where every blade of grass was on every shot I've ever made on a golf course. And I'm perfectly happy to do that.
Hello, Brian.
Oh, thanks.
Hello.
Do we know, have we gotten confirmation from Brian Kaplan?
I have not heard from him other than earlier today, and I know he plans on logging in, so.
So we're going with video tonight?
We are, because we can see you now.
Okay, thank you.
Is Lori on yet?
Thank you.
All right.
I can't do work during the meeting then.
No, you can't.
Get busted.
Call Lori.
So we
So-
are live on YouTube right now, and we're just waiting to get everybody online before we begin the meeting. So if anybody is watching us now, thanks for
So Terry,
logging on.
what's the odds for baseball and when's it start?
I think the odds are that nothing's going to happen because they both dropped the ball terribly.
You
What
think
is that? What do you mean by that, Terry?
That, the players and the owners are not going to reach an agreement on this. It may be too late very soon.
Who do you blame?
Well, I just think they've missed a tremendous opportunity to be America's pastime. There's nothing going on right now. They could regain their glory. Obviously it's been falling to the NBA and the NFL for many, many years. And this could have been their chance. Let's just go out and play. Let's have some fun. Everybody will make some money. And they haven't done it. So I
I
don't know.
agree with you.
Yeah.
It was a great chance.
You
On the other hand, it just means a lot more time to do other stuff.
yeah, right.
Like going
So-
to park district meetings.
Here we go.
Well, you kind of wonder if there were some of these attractions like professional sports, if it would be enough of a distraction so that maybe the people with their pent up desires to be out of the house would have something else to do.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Oh, look at that background.
Is that Woodstock?
Yes. I love you, Tony.
Yeah, I hope there's nobody topless.
I'm
in-
probably the only one here that knows what that is.
I think the only one who's here that was alive when that was going on.
I was there.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wait a couple minutes anyhow.
I think Lori's on. Lori, can you hear us?
I can. My iPad is doing some updates, so I'll hop on. But for now, just use my phone if that's okay.
Yeah, we can hear you and you can hear us. I think that's the most important thing. So that's great.
All right, well, we have one more minute to wait. So maybe somebody else can, oh, Lori can tell us about the bar mitzvah.
Yes, my son was bar mitzvahed Saturday at North Shore where we belong.
Mazel
There
tov.
was,
Mazel tov.
thank you. There was 10 of us, including the rabbi, and we were spaced out in the smaller sanctuary. I believe he did well. I couldn't really understand him through the mask. So let's just say he was perfect.
I think that's a great ruse that every kid should know, whether there's a virus or not, have the mask on. So when they do their,
Wear a mask.
yeah, so when they do their bar mitzvah stuff and mumbling anyhow, and no one can hear. I think that's great. I think-
Right. Yeah. It was, so yeah, thank you for asking though.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. That's my last one. So, well, you know how it is, Cal.
Yeah, then you just look forward to paying for college.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just, I think we have everybody on at 6 o'clock. So I will call to order the workshop meeting of the Park District of Highland Park on Tuesday, June 9, 2020 at 6 o'clock PM. Roxanne, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein,
Here.
Commissioner Grossberg,
Here,
Commissioner Flores Weisskopf,
Here.
Vice President Kaplan,
I'm here.
and President Ruttenberg.
I am here also. Are there any additions to the agenda from the commissioners? Let's go around. Cal,
No.
Terry,
no,
Lori,
No.
Brian?
Nope.
Okay. Executive Director Romes, has anyone from the public submitted any emails to be read aloud for public comment?
No, I have not received any.
Thank you. Then we will go to the next order of business, which is the approval of Resolution 2020-09, Recreation Center of Highland Park Indoor Pool Emergency Repairs. Director Carr to present.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Quick presentation. We'll make this very brief. It's just to give an update on where we're at with the indoor recreation center pool. As discussed at the last board meeting, while we were going through standard maintenance while the facility was shut down, staff had noticed several concerning areas regarding the pool shell at the rec center. So I wanted to provide you an update with some photos and as well as our recommendation and request for approval of the resolution. So very quickly here, this first photo will show you a little of what we noticed. This is the pitting and the cracking of the base of the shell. So, you know, this, if left untreated, there's a risk here for water penetrating into our foundation. Another photo shows the side of the pool and the cracking. This also shows a little bit of the shell pulling away. And it's a little bit easier to see when you actually wet it down. So you can see how severe the issue and challenge is right here. Again, if left untreated, this would start to flake off into the pool. So again, very, very concerning. So at this time, when we had noticed all of this, we did deem this to be too big of a risk to fill and operate the pool until it was repaired. This repair is being deemed an emergency because of that. So without it, we can't open the pool for community lap swim or swim lessons. Since that time, we've contacted several vendors, and the product that we were most impressed with from the quality, cost, and time to complete the project was a product called EcoFinish Aqua Bright Pool Shell. And so this is just a little bit of detail on that, that it comes with a 10-year warranty. It provides a 40% less chemical than traditional plaster, soft finish, very good non-slip resistant surface. The quote that we received was $44,865. And the time that it would take for us to demolish as well as install is about 6 to 8 weeks. So what we are asking tonight is approval from the Board of Commissioners of Resolution 2020-09 to waive the competitive bidding process for procurement of an emergency repair to the indoor pool shell at the Recreation Center.
Before we do anything else, I just got a message from one of our residents who said that there's no sound being broadcast.
What?
I
I will check that right now.
Okay. So while that's being checked, do we have any questions from the board regarding this approval of basically an emergency repair? Let's start with Cal.
I just have a couple. Number one, since this is an emergency repair, what is the procedure? We don't have to do it on any type of RFP or anything like that?
That's correct. The resolution would allow us to waive the competitive bidding process because this is a project over $25,000.
And what are the standards that need to be met in order to waive that that requirement?
So the resolution that we've provided as part of the board packet would have to be approved by the board.
Okay, so the resolution contains meets the standards of the requirement to show this is an emergency repair, and therefore we can do this without having to go do an RFP.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, and this has been reviewed by corporate counsel as well.
Okay, great. And I think that's all I have.
Terry,
nope, I'm good.
Lori,
I'm good.
Brian,
No questions, thank you.
and I have no questions. So is there a motion to approve the resolution 2020-9 Recreation Center of Highland Park indoor pool emergency repairs?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roxanne, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bernstein,
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Flor Swicekoff,
Aye.
Vice President Kaplan,
yes.
President Ruttenberg.
Yes. The motion is carried. Next item, approval of resolution, I'm sorry, was there?
Barney, if I may,
yeah.
just the update that I got is that the sound is working on YouTube, and it may be somebody's computer on their end.
I'm getting the same message that it's working.
Okay.
Good. No one gets back to me, I'm sorry. All right, approval of resolution 2020-10, authorizing a contract with the lowest cost natural gas provider. Director Peters to present.
Everybody. In your packet, you have a resolution 2020-10 regarding going out for bid for lowest cost for natural gas provider. And as you recall from previously, when we've gotten gas contracts or electric contracts, how that works is we get approval from you ahead of time so that Brian and I have the authorization to actually secure the bid for the natural gas. What would happen is you give us your approval, and then we would go to a bid the next morning based on what market prices are. We get various bids, and then Brian and I would sign off on what the lowest bidder was the day after that we are given permission to go ahead and do this. We are going to utilize, or we're proposing to utilize, alternate utility services, who we have right now. The contracts for gas at Deer Creek as well as the rec center. They're up on June 30th, and we're looking to have a 2-year contract so that they will then expire with the rest of our gas contracts at facilities across the district. And based on where therms are right now, we stand to have savings of roughly $5,000 per year in our gas bill at these two facilities. Their gas is quite low right now. Does anyone have any questions?
We'll start with Cal.
Yeah, I have one question, Mary Lynn, and it's really not about this matter, it's about the previous matter. Do we need to amend the budget to reflect the fact that we're expending this money on the pool?
No, well, what we're gonna do is amend the budget, but not until August or September or so.
And so that will incorporate that expense?
We'll incorporate all changes, yes.
Okay, all right, no, I have no questions on this. Thank you.
Okay.
Terry?
What did you say the savings would be this year?
Up to $5,000. Right now, they would be just shy of $5,000. There may be a little bit of play in market, by the time this goes back out.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Lori?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Brian?
Nothing.
And I have no questions either. So is there a motion to approve Resolution 2020-10, authorizing a contract with the lowest cost natural gas provider?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roxanne, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bernstein,
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Flor Swicekoff,
Aye.
Vice President Kaplan,
Yes.
President Ruttenberg.
Yes, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of 2020 routine grounds maintenance services bid. Director Voss to present.
Good evening. Typically, the park staff seeks approval for 2 maintenance contracts. One is called the landscape services, and that is budgeted for $101,000, and that covers all landscaping services at approximately 16 sites. And then there's a second one called the routine grounds, sometimes referred to as a mow and go, which is exactly what it sounds. They're mowing, they're not doing anything else, they move on to the next site. That's budgeted at $70,000. These 2 contracts were not approved at the March 31st board meeting. We pulled them off, obviously in our early stages of the COVID pandemic. And park staff, as they were doing essential work, chose to do those because we weren't having to do the stuff we would typically do: soccer fields, baseball fields, prepping the aqua park, all sorts of those types of tasks. That's worked for the last 8-9 weeks or so. And as we're in phase 3 here of the Restore Illinois plan, it's getting increasingly a little bit more difficult to do all that, as we are now doing those typical tasks, preparing ball fields, getting Park Avenue, as we've talked about in past meetings, Rosewood as well. So we're seeking approval for 14 weeks of the routine grounds. Both of those contracts, they do require weekly costs. And so we were asking for 14 weeks for the routine grounds to help us go forward and this will help pull 3 staff off that will allow them to do all that work that we need to do to help the rec staff and prepare the lakefront. Also wanted to point out too that 4 park staff have been shifted to golf maintenance this season, as golf maintenance did not hire their seasonal staff. And we've estimated that doing this contract would be cheaper than pulling those staff back and then Ryan having to hire his staff back. So any questions?
Well, let's ask Cal to start.
Move for approval.
Second.
There is a motion to approve. Before we do that, does anybody have any questions on the topic or the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none. Roxanne, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bernstein,
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Flor Swicekoff,
Aye.
Vice President Kaplan,
Yep.
President Ruttenberg.
Yes, the motion carries. Next, COVID-19 Emergency Operations Planning Update. It's a group presentation. We'll start with Executive Director Romes.
Great, thank you. Yeah, as we have been discussing, we are now in the phase 3 of Restore Illinois plan, permitting outdoor activities with 10 or less participants, in addition to private training in our indoor facilities, and the implementation of a significantly downsized summer camp. So as a result, staff is transitioning the reopening of our facilities and introducing new outdoor programs, ensuring that we, of course, meet the essential health and wellness needs of our community. Our focus continues to be on safety, strictly adhering to the state guidelines as we deliver these programs and services, and of course, doing so in a way that is also creative and meaningful to our participants. We are, of course, again, working diligently to ensure we deliver these programs and services in a fiscally responsible manner, while also protecting our district-wide resources as we manage our community parks, facilities, and natural areas. So with that, our staff tonight is just going to give a very brief update on some new programs and services that have transpired over the past week and that will continue to develop over the next few weeks ahead. So we're going to kick things off with our Assistant Director of Recreation and Facilities, Chris Melizuski. So Chris, you can take it away.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So as Executive Director Rome said, staff has been working diligently to put our best foot forward in offering both virtual and in-person programming for the month of June. So virtual programming, if you recall, is done on your computer, similar to how we're conducting tonight's meeting. And offerings have included things such as overnight campouts, athletic instruction, nature programming and whatnot. So for the month of June, we have 109 registrants that are participating in some of our virtual classes compared to 180 in May. And the downturn is likely due to us now being able to offer in-person outdoor programming. So as recent as yesterday, we had some tennis mini camps kick off. We have some athletic mini camps beginning next week, as well as some gymnastics programming. And staff has really been working hard to ensure that the safety of our participants as well as staff members is at top of mind. And I'm happy to say for all of our in-person outdoor programming that will occur in the month of June, as of today, we have 767 registrations, which is phenomenal, all things considered, and there is more to come. Additionally, as of last week, we started outdoor fitness, and this week started a new class schedule, if you will. And we have 35 classes being offered, and to date we have 170 registrants amongst those classes, which is really a great turnout for group fitness at various sites throughout Highland Park. And most excitingly, tomorrow kicks off registration for what we're deeming Camp Hometown, which is our transition into our traditional summer camp environment, just with some various modifications that have had to be incorporated due to COVID-19. We have various sites throughout our facilities, as well as plans to use Lincoln School. We have spots for approximately 150 campers, and we are working with School District 112 for the potential use of their facilities should there be a greater need within the community for camp. So that's a real quick update, and if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Hearing none, let's proceed.
Okay, Director Facilities and Recreation, Mitch Carr.
Thank you. I'll give a quick update on the Rec Center, Deer Creek, Rosewood, and Park Avenue. At the Rec Center, it is currently open for one-on-one personal training sessions only. Staff has been conducting those sessions since last Thursday, and since that time, we have conducted 32 private training sessions. With the opening of the facility for personal training, the building lobby is also now open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. At Deer Creek, building is also open for one-on-one lessons, as well as reserved court times for doubles and single play. Following all the DCEO guidelines on play, which means we're using alternating courts. So only 4 of the 6 courts are actually available indoors right now. All lessons and court times must be reserved by contacting Deer Creek. And opening the facility also allows us to start offering some limited adult group classes, which are going to start on weekends on June 20th, as well as it will provide a rain location for our camp and other summer program offerings during the weekdays. At Rosewood Beach, we continue to be in our preseason mode and prepping to move into our regular season, which is going to start on June 20th. We have brought back lifeguards who have went through a virtual training program, and now this week started in-person skills and rescue training. That'll be conducted this week and next week. And again, as I mentioned, on June 20th, we will be in regular season, which means that the water will be open for swimming. Restrooms would be open, as well as both the upper and lower lot would be open for traffic. The regular season would go from June 20th through August the 16th. Starting this weekend, we will have our new park ambassadors on the schedule to start. They will be monitoring not only Rosewood Beach for parking and beach guidelines associated with the Phase 3 Restore Illinois plan. They will also be responsible for monitoring other lakefront locations throughout the season. The gate opening and closure plan for the summer as of right now will be that all of our lakefront property gates will be open by 7 a.m. and we'll be closing the lakefront properties starting at 9 p.m. And that will start to go into place as the park ambassadors come on board. Lastly, at Park Avenue, opening plans continue. At the boating facility, the facility will be open to small craft sailing, kayaking, and stand-up paddle, as well as personal watercraft this weekend. Last week, staff met with John Keno to further look at the dredging that was needed, and they took soundings in the boat launch channel. In their opinion, by looking at the soundings and the level placement of the sand for dock installation, it was determined that it could be possible to launch boats and install the dock without dredging this year. So staff has started the process of installing the dock as of yesterday. We were limited by the weather today and potentially could be limited by the weather tomorrow, but that continued installation will occur. And as soon as it can be safely prepared, we will then be able to start our powerboat season, certainly sooner than the anticipated July 3rd date that had been previously announced for available. So I can take any questions if there are any regarding those facilities.
Let's go down, start with Cal. Any questions?
No, all exciting. I'm glad things are opening up.
Terry?
I did have a question about Park Avenue Beach. I was wondering, even though apparently we were not requiring it, what have the numbers been like, or somebody else presenting about that, about people going ahead and renting the spots and things like that that were originally in our mandate for the deal?
Yeah, I can give a quick update on that. We have seen a little bit of progression since the last board meeting. At the last board meeting, the launch pass only, so that's those that are just buying the pass to launch their boat, was at 18, and as of today, it is up to now 23. The storage and launch was at 23 at last board meeting, and now that is at 26 as of today.
And what were the benchmarks we were looking for originally?
So based on our previous seasons, we had goals of getting to 24 for launch pass only. So right now we're one short of that, and 32 for storage and launch. So we're still 6 short on that.
Okay, great. My other question is about opening full-time 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Is that, I'm sorry, I might have missed it. Is that the same as the June 20th date?
Yeah, so the plan right now is because we have the ambassadors available this weekend, we will start to be able to provide openings from 7 to 9. And the full beach, as far as the regular season for swimming and everything, that would start on June the 20th.
Got it. And is there a final question? This is something we haven't talked about in quite a while, but about Moraine Beach, I've actually gotten a couple of emails recently of people going, the dog beach isn't closed, is it? It's awesome. So what's going on there?
Yeah, that trail has not been repaired as of still. So, and there has not been any progress with that project at this point. So the dog beach is still closed, unfortunately, because the trail leading down to it is closed.
Right, people are accessing it. So I'm not sure if we have to put up more tape or whatever. But if it's still harrowing, I don't want us to be liable in any way if people hurt themselves doing that.
Yeah, we have appropriate signage and fencing up, but I'm sure Dan Voss and his team or our staff can go back out and just take a double check to make sure everything is still intact. But yes, it's still closed.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Lori, do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I guess my question is, when will the facilities be fully staffed?
Well, it depends what you mean by fully staffed. They will be transitioned with the guidelines that are delivered by the state and by usage. So they're not anticipated to be fully staffed and probably at all this year. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. We're kind of still in this week to week, month to month evaluation of what we can and can't deliver. Right now, phase 4 obviously only allows for, I believe less than 50 people, and we don't even have those guidelines yet, and we're not in phase 4 yet. So it's hard to say. We're making plans, but nobody can kind of tell the future at this point. We're just waiting for the state to give us guidelines.
Okay, and what about Westridge? Like our Westridge, like our front office, I'm wondering.
Very similar. So obviously when camp starts July 6th, we will have camp staff there. And now that we have outdoor programming, we have some programming staff at the facility. So our athletic staff is there. Some of our marketing staff is there. We've obviously printed a lot of signs. So we have our sign printer at that location. Our finance team is in Westridge. Our Mitch and Chris, who oversee facilities and recreation, are there almost every day. I'm there almost every day. And so we're transitioning back. Human resources is there 2 days a week, but we're keeping it below 50% because that's what the standard is. And so we're continuing to encourage people to work from home whenever possible. And, we need to get through camp because there's going to be a lot of kids running around, and our priority is going to be to keep them safe.
Okay, do we have front desk staff at Westridge?
No, not at Westridge. We are still staffing our hotline team. So they are answering voicemail and email. The only facility that has staff where they're answering the phone live is at the Recreation Center in Deer Creek.
Okay.
And the rec center, just to add to that, that's where the main line now goes to. So we are getting the main line being answered regularly by someone. And when it comes to Westridge, as camps open, we certainly will have to have a front desk presence. So we do plan on, as camps open, looking to bring our front desk staff back at that time.
Okay, okay. So do we still have staff working from home?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still encouraged at this phase that staff work from home when possible. So some staff come in for half days. Some staff come in on different days than other staff. So we're kind of developing a routine so that everyone isn't there at the same time. But we are still having staff work from home whenever possible. Like tonight, we're all from home. Obviously, we're not at Westridge Center for this live meeting. So whenever possible, we're still encouraging working from home.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Brian, any questions?
No, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Great. My only question is at the rec center, and maybe you've answered it. I think you've answered it. We have at least one person there at the lobby, and I assume it's only one, I don't know, person at the lobby, but that person is not just attending to the needs of the trainers and the people who come for training, but that's also the telephone central now. So that person is adequately engaged all day. Is that correct?
That's correct, Barney. Yep.
Okay.
They are manning the hotline basically from that location.
Okay, great. Well, I have nothing else. If there's no other questions, I guess we'll move on.
We just have one more quick update, which is a new development that I just, Director Liz Gagola of Communications and Marketing just wanted to also make the board aware of regarding our foundation. So Liz, if you want to give a quick update on that.
This 4th of July holiday, the Parks Foundation and the Park District will be holding a virtual version of the Firecracker 5K. It will be a run, walk, and bike event, and it's open to all ages. Participants will compete July 1st through the 5th at their own safe location. It could be on their own treadmill or on a park path, as long as they're social distancing. Entry fee is $25 per person or $40 for a family, and proceeds will benefit the Smile Grant and Aid Fund. We have 2 presenting sponsors, First Bank of Highland Park and Edward Jones advisor Scott Byrne. They have graciously stepped up and have more than covered the minor costs for the event. The first 100 participants will receive a t-shirt, and all participants will be entered to win prizes. And the tagline for the event is join our 5K your way, go the distance while keeping your distance. So we're hoping that all residents and their families and friends will join in the fun of this event over the 4th holiday and raise money for good cause.
Great. Let's ask, anybody have any questions of Liz for this event? Hearing the sound of silence, it sounds like it could be a fun event. You can basically do it any place then, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
it's very exciting to be able to do something festive for the holiday, as well as raise some money for the Smile Fund. They've been looking for some creative ways to do that. They turned this around really quick. So we're hoping we get some great participation.
That's excellent. Well, the next item then, if we'll move on, is the review of vouchers. Director Peters.
Hello again. And before you have the voucher packet, which is from May 21st through June 4th. It's relatively a small voucher packet. It does contain almost 100 refunds for various canceled programs and activities around the district. Also included in this run is are 2 items of John Deere equipment for a total cost of roughly $67,000. We had the HVAC replacement, which is roughly $22,000. And then one other item of interest is $6,000 towards the short game area over at Sunset Valley. And just to note that the foundation will be reimbursing us for that $6,000. And if you recall, they have fundraised really extensively to fund that whole area. So that's all I really have in vouchers, unless anyone else has a question.
Cal? Terry?
I'm good.
Lori?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Brian?
No more questions.
I sadly have 2 questions, maybe 3. Am I reading, it's not in here, but what is the extent that we might still have refunds that haven't been processed yet? Do we anticipate there'd be a lot further than stated on these 20 pages now?
If I may, Mitch might have a better grasp on that at this point.
Yeah, so the camp processing is going through right now. So similar to spring registration, where we had a lot of people registered for programs that were unable to be fulfilled. We went through a very similar process with camp, which was we basically put credits on people's accounts so that they could re-register for camp starting tomorrow. And if for some reason they decide it's not an essential need or don't register, they can request a refund. And if they don't process a refund by the end of the month, it will automatically be refunded at the end of the month.
So we'll see, possibly, potentially, we'll see another spate of those. My other question, which has nothing to do with the vouchers, but am I correct that we received a significant payment of real estate taxes?
Yes, we have received 2 payments so far. May's was somewhat smaller than what we would usually get. And the first one in June was also smaller than what we usually get, but we're pretty happy with it. And we're slated to get another June payment next Thursday. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully that'll match the first June payment.
Great, great. Thank you. I guess we can move on. One of the items that's not on the agenda, but I will add it now, is whether there's anybody who is listening in who wants to address the board.
It's not live for the.
Oh, it's not. Oh, in that case.
That's, yeah. So unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, they were supposed to submit things in advance anyhow. Okay.
Correct.
All right. I don't understand technology, so whatever. All right. The next thing is a closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Open Meetings Act. And this will be section 2C8 involving security procedures and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual, threatened, or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property. This will be a closed session, so if I'm reading correctly, is there only one third party here? See, that is joined us?
Yes, so I think we need a motion in a second to go into closed session.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then they'll log, after we end, they will log off.
Okay, so is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Roxanne, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein,
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Flor Weisskopf,
Aye.
Vice President Kaplan,
Yes.
President Ruttenberg.
Yes, so we are in closed session. I'll-